Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your reading for the week. Oh no, this is for the Virgo eclipse that is happening on March 13th or 14th, depending on where you are in the world. You have this Emotions Are the Reflection card. It says look for deeper meaning. You have this Run Wild. It says let your inner child run forth. So it is a great time for the inner child. Almost every single person has had a card of the inner child, or thinking of like what would make their life more playful or enjoyable, and I feel that that would be a great thing for you to focus on here, Aries. You start with the Two of Swords, and Two of Swords can be like black or white thinking. You know, it can say that you're thinking that this or that for anything that any choice, decision, anything that's going on in your life. It really doesn't matter. And the Two of Swords says, well, really, life isn't black or white. Things, there are shades of gray. There's everything in between. And I kind of feel the Two of Swords is saying that you have much more control over your reality than you realize. Now, this eclipse is probably, again, I'm not going to sugarcoat this eclipse. It is a challenging eclipse as far as I'm concerned. And, there's a lot of energy in your sign. There's a lot of energy in Pisces, in your 12th house. That energy will be moving forward in the future, not right now, but still, eclipse energy lasts for like 6 months after the eclipse. So, a lot of you are going to be dealing with this energy for a while, and that shouldn't scare you, by the way. It's not going to be bad. It's not that this eclipse is bad. I just think that it is challenging. And again, challenges cause us to grow. So it's not a bad thing. But I think for a lot of you that not being too fixed in how things turn out is going to be a very good thing for you. Again, she's thinking this or that, but she has this island behind her, and that island represents a third place solution, or a different way that things can go. She also needs to trust her intuition. She has this blindfold on, and the blindfolds in the tarot represent needing to trust your intuition. So I definitely feel it's time for you to trust your intuition. You have this Page of Cups as your crossing energy. Now, the Page of Cups, it's kind of like saying to me, for you, Aries, that I feel like the challenge here is having a vision. Sure, the Page of Cups could be love or an admirer. You have the Three of Swords. You could be thinking about a heartbreak. We'll talk about it in a minute. But we have this fish in the cup here, and the fish might be real, or it might be part of his imagination. We don't actually know if the fish is meant to be real or fake or part of his imagination. But the whole point of the fish is that he needs to make sure that it doesn't jump into the water behind him, and he needs to kind of ground it in reality. And I think it's kind of funny that you have the world in your foundation, which is like literally saying you need to take a vision and bring it into this world, something that you're going to create. It is a very creative time with all that energy in Pisces, right? And so I think part of the challenge here, but the challenge is having a vision. It's like sometimes in life, I've definitely had moments where it's like I don't know what to do. I don't have an answer, right? There is no answer. I'm not sure what my next steps should be. And I really don't even necessarily have any good advice on how to get out of it. Like sometimes I think that the reason this happens is because the universe is putting us on pause and trying to get us to take a break, as painful as it is sometimes, right? Other times, I think, the answer is to just get started on something and kind of see where it goes. But definitely a challenge you could be dealing with. We are going to clarify. We'll see what else comes up for that. You have the Three of Swords in the area of what's on your mind, or the area of your thoughts. The Three of Swords is about forgiveness. It can represent a heartbreak, of course, and of course you could be thinking about a heartbreak, but the solution to the Three of Swords is to pull those swords out of your heart through forgiving the past. And we have a lot of past energy, of course. Eclipses naturally can bring up the past, but thoughts of the past, nostalgia, things like that. But we also have all these retrogrades. Venus retrogrades, Mercury's going to retrograde. Both of those planets are going to retrograde in your sign. So, Venus has. So I think that a lot of you could be kind of like clearing up past hurts, past issues, and kind of like processing them. I don't really feel good or bad about this. I feel it's challenging. Like I said, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but it's like you're processing it, which can be challenging. But I also feel that an easy solution would be to forgive and move on, and that's exactly what I would do here. In your foundation, you have the World. The World is an excellent card to have in the foundation position of a Celtic cross because, it kind of says that you could be bringing something into the world. And that's exactly what I would do here. With all that Pisces energy, I would be practicing, creation, the act of creation. Even the World is an act of creation. Like, she is birthing a new world. Or, you could also say that she is crossing through this portal in the middle of the world and, kind of stepping through a new portal, stepping into a new time. So I feel a lot of you have the opportunity to do that, to like create a new world for yourself. And, that could be why it feels a little chaotic, the energy, or a little bit, maybe you're feeling a little out of sorts. I think a better description for Aries is not knowing what to do next, right? And, that's kind of the energy I get. Next, in the area of the past or the energy, what you are moving past, you have this giraffe. It says, see the big picture. You have this scarab beetle spirit. It says, magic works through you. So a lot of you needing to believe that you can create with that scarab beetle spirit, needing to believe that you are magical and a magical being, needing to believe that your intuition is guiding you as well. Also in the past, you have the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is the only card in the tarot that has an eclipse on it right here. So a lot of you could be walking away from things that no longer serve you, and also, just dealing with the eclipse energy just in general. So a lot of you are kind of like walking, he's walking into darkness. He doesn't really know where he's going, but he's just not willing to settle. So this is coming up in the past, and it could say that in the past you decided that you are no longer going to settle for less than you deserve, and that's definitely something I would think of. The astrology we're having right now is very similar to 2006. So if you were born before 2006, then you might want to think back to 2006. It's like, what were you dealing with? What were the major themes of that time? Because this is coming up in the past. And, like, what were you going through at that time? That's what I would be thinking of. We had this exact set of eclipses in 2006. So, I would be thinking about that. We repeat eclipses, sets of eclipses every 19 years or somewhere around there. So again, like I said, 2006. Next, in the area of your very near future, you have this blood moon card. It says courage. You also have this ring around the moon. It says protection. Yeah, you are protected. I feel a lot of people kind of need to realize this. We could all be, we're in a very dreamy time. We're also in a time where the universe is trying to get people to expand their lives and to reach their full potential. Pluto and Aquarius is one of those things that's causing that. Neptune and Pisces with Saturn and Pisces is trying to get us to live the impossible dream that we have for ourselves. But nothing is going to happen, of course, if we don't have the courage to do it. So, it's definitely time to take action. Now, you have the Justice card in the area of the very near future. And the Justice card is cause and effect. It says, if you take an action in a direction, what is the result you get? If you get a good result, keep going. If you get a bad result, stop and do something else. And so with justice, we have to really pay attention to cause and effect. I also feel that we go like this: Three of Swords, Justice to the King of Pentacles. Sometimes with justice, I feel like we are hoping to get justice in a past heartbreak, but also sometimes that is exactly what is preventing us from getting something better. So I feel this is again saying like forgive and move on. Next, in your outcome row, you have this Divine Infinity card. It says, challenge yourself to go beyond your limitations and you'll find your infinity. Yes. We literally just said it. Neptune and Pisces says, challenge, go beyond your limitations. Neptune and Pisces, big impossible dream. With Saturn there, it's like saying, if you put the work in, and if you believe in yourself, and if you trust your intuition, and if you're creative, you will get there. You have this Lone Wolf card. It says, listen to your inner wolf and embrace your sacred wild nature that thirsts for freedom. I think everybody has a very strong sense of freedom, or like a very strong desire to remove themselves from limitations. So, anything you can do to make yourself feel more free would, of course, be a good idea. You have the King of Pentacles coming up in the area of the next few months. Again, actually really good for you here, Aries. King of Pentacles, very stable, very secure. He's focused on wealth building. He's also focused on his skills. He has these grapes on his cloak, and the grapes on his cloak represent a skill. Grapes in the tarot represent something that's very difficult to grow, but he can do it well. So he has the skills necessary to grow those grapes well. And I feel that for a lot of you, that a lot of you have skills that you could be developing. I think it is an amazing time for Aries to be working on a skill, like something that you want to learn, something that you want to develop or get better at. And I would definitely encourage you to do that, for sure. And I would just like work on it every single day, even if it's just a little bit, it would, could lead to wealth in the future. Next, in the area of your closest relationships, you have the King of Cups. King of Cups is about our emotional connection, our deep emotional connections, right? So a lot of you could be more focused on those deep connections, not so much those surface level connections. Now, I will say that pretty much every single person during this set of readings has had a very strong focus on those like much deeper connections, those connections that really matter. And that is where you are going to find emotional fulfillment. So, I think it's a great time to spend time with those people. Also could be love coming in for you. You have the Page of Cups, King of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles. It could be like a earth sign with water, water sign with earth. It could be any sign, general reading. It could be someone who's very deep and emotional, but like not crying on your shoulder every single day. I always say like, King of Cups is very emotional, but he's not going to be sitting there, crying on your shoulder every single day. He is in control of his emotions. King of Pentacles would be a stable person as well. So some of you could be meeting a person, even in the area of your future feelings. You have the Page of Pentacles, and the Page of Pentacles could be about learning a new person. We have Venus retrograde. I've been telling everyone, like, don't just rush right into a connection. If you meet a new person at this time, of course, you can talk to them. I always tell people, it's like, I think it's ridiculous for people to say like, oh, don't date a person during Venus retrograde. If a person's meant for you, they're meant for you. It doesn't matter if every planet and its mother is retrograde. If they're meant for you, they're meant for you. Now, you just have to realize that things will probably be different after the retrograde, but that doesn't have to be a bad thing. If anything, if it's meant for you, if this is a connection that's meant for you, it'll be better after the retrograde. So, again, I think the retrograde rules are meant to be broken. I think they're ridiculous in the first place. Like I always say, if we really followed all the rules of astrology, we wouldn't breathe. So, there you go. But what I would say is that the Page of Pentacles could say, like, take it slow, start with communication. The Page of Pentacles is a card of studiousness as well. So it's kind of about, like, learning a person or getting to know a person. And you can do that slowly over time. The Page of Pentacles is also just great for learning. And I do feel it is a great time for learning something. Really just based off this reading, if I were you, Aries, I would be picking a skill that you want to learn, picking a skill that is, going to make you money or is going to make you more successful, and I would just learn it. I would just take the time to learn it, right? Plain and simple. For your outcome, you have the Five of Swords. Five of Swords can represent walking away from things as well, cutting things out. It's a breakup card for sure. Some of you could be thinking about a breakup that you've been through, which is very much, Venus retrograde, of course. Venus retrograde can bring up thoughts of past people. It can, kind of make us want to close out those relationships as well. And like I said, I feel like some of you are just thinking about it. I don't really feel you're doing anything about it other than, again, the good solution here with that Three of Swords, because I practice solution-based reading, it would be forgiveness, just forgiving the past and forgetting about it and moving on. Let's see. With the Page of Cups and the Ten of Swords, you have, or in the Two of Swords, sorry, you have the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands is about carrying a heavy burden. Now, I've seen the Ten of Wands a lot during this set of readings, so I feel people could just have a lot going on. It's like people have a lot on their plate. With the Three of Swords, I would be making sure to rest, relax, recover. Outside of love, just in life in general, Three of Swords can represent healing. This is a Virgo eclipse. Virgo is all about healing. So instead of burning yourself out and working too much and all that other stuff, make sure you're taking breaks. Make sure you're listening to your body. With the Three of Swords, you have the Nine of Pentacles. Am I going to be single forever is the question, right? And so the Nine of Pentacles is a card of independence. And the Nine of Pentacles is also a card of focus. So some of you might be feeling very single, but it's a great card. You know, it's a card that says you have learned how to truly be independent. You've learned how to take care of yourself, and you've learned how much energy you can give to things. She has 6 pentacles over here and 3 pentacles over here. She's willing to give 3 pentacles worth of energy to anything that enters into her life, but she always keeps more than enough for herself. And maybe that's a big lesson that you've learned, right? The King of Pentacles understands true equal give and take. He understands stable giving, and he understands that, you know, he can't give everything to a person all at once. No one can. So, you know, I think for a lot of you, the Nine of Pentacles is about giving. You know, it cracks me up when people are like, a relationship should be 100 to 100. I'm like, well, that's literally impossible. Because if you're giving someone, like, what energy do you have for anything else in your life? I think it's a stupid rule and silly when people say that, right? So it's like, yeah, should there be equal give and take in a relationship? Absolutely. But we're not in preschool anymore where everything is even Steven, right? We are adults. So we have to realize, like, sometimes you give more, sometimes they give more. As long as it's mostly equal, then things are going in the right direction. But again, she keeps more than enough for herself. With the World, you have the Five of Swords again. I feel that, you know, the Five of Swords can also represent risk-taking, and we are in a very risky time. You know, we are in a time where we should all be kind of taking risks. Now, because of Pluto and Aquarius, I say that there's a specific type of risk that we should be taking. We shouldn't just be taking any old risk. We should be taking the risk of exposure, which is like the risk of speaking up, the risk of starting a YouTube channel and saying something and people making fun of you, the risk of speaking up at work, the risk of asking for a job, the risk of asking a person out. Like, those are the types of risks that are probably going to be best right now, and you could be taking one of those risks. With the Eight of Cups, you have the Wheel of Fortune. I do feel like you're kind of getting off the Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune is a good card, but I always say, like, I don't think it's as good as people make it out to be. And it can be like the washing machine of life, where it's like you're just getting tossed all over the place if you're not in control of the wheel. And so with the Eight of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune, this is more of an energy of taking control of your destiny and not just letting things happen to you, but, you know, being in control of the situation. And, you know, sometimes we can only control how we feel about something, and we can choose to take a negative and turn it into a positive, right? That's like one example of what we can do with the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune is really about understanding that life is never perfect, but we ultimately decide how we feel about everything, and we can control that. We can change that, right? With the Justice card, you have the Page of Pentacles. Definitely, you know, I literally said a person with equal give and take. So if there is a new person, you know, I do feel this person will be very equal. You know, I think it will be a very, you know, for those of you out there that think 100 is a good idea, this person might be pretty freaking close. So there you go. With the King of Pentacles, you have the Empress. Yes, abundance. See, here's the thing, though, that I'm going to say to you, Aries. You have to develop this skill. Like, this isn't just going to magically happen. I feel that this right here is a process that you're going through with that King of Pentacles, because, again, he develops his skill. You know, sometimes I tell a story with the King of Pentacles that I have a friend, and his dad works in technology, and actually where he works, most of the older guys get fired because they can hire like new kids out of college that know everything, know more than him, and they can pay them less money, right? But my friend's dad has never been fired, and actually they pay him more money because they can't lose him, but he is always updating his skills. He has made his career his obsession, and I'm not talking about like an unhealthy way. He has just constantly gone to classes, taken classes, gone to courses, read books on his own time. Like, he really has made himself extremely valuable, right? And the King of Pentacles and the Empress would be about doing that. It says that you need to make yourself very valuable in the thing that you do by educating yourself, learning about it, practicing it, all those other things. With the King of Cups, you have the Three of Pentacles. Yeah, very even. Like I said, Three of Pentacles is two people who want to work towards a common goal. So if you are, you know, even though there are 3 people on the card, but I feel like this is one person, you know, you and another person. So I like the Three of Pentacles for love because, like I said, it's like 2 people who are working towards the same thing. With the Page of Pentacles, oh, you cannot make this up. Are you kidding? Look at this. We have both repeating right here. So clearly, there could be a very stable, equal connection coming in for you. And yes, with the Five of Swords, you have the Page of Cups, which you have twice as well. You could be taking the risk of like telling a person that you like them, or telling a person that you're interested, or you could be taking the risk of flirting with a person, or making a person realize that you exist. Sometimes with that Five of Swords, it's like, does a person that you're interested in, do they even know that you exist? So like I said, attention, right? The risk with Pluto and Aquarius is getting attention and looking stupid. That's according to Chris's crappy astrology here. But if we do it, we probably won't look stupid. We will probably be right. You have this tankard card. It says celebration, fun, and enjoyment. Yes, there could be a big, I would practice fun. It's a challenging eclipse. Whenever we have a challenge, we have to get the energy to go the other direction. And having fun is a great way to do that. You have this mule card. It says someone is extremely stubborn and unwilling to change, probably a past person. I would be careful of a past person here, especially with the Venus retrograde. You have this wealth card. Yes, your focus for the next 20 years, literally, Aquarius. I think a lot of you are going to be focusing on wealth and creating wealth. And even if you're 90 years old, and even if, pretty much the chances of you making it to 110 are pretty slim, hate to tell you. So, again, even if you're going to be dead in the next 10 years, I don't care. I would still be working on making your life the best you can. So I feel this wealth card is about you doing it. Also, rip to the 90-year-olds that won't be here in 2033. I'll see you on the other side, right? Let me know how it went. You have this tree card. It says affairs with your family. I don't know. Every single person has had a card about family. I think that in some ways, if you have people who support you, spending time with those people could help you recharge your batteries. And again, it seems to be like a collective energy that's going on here. And finally, you have this owl card. It says, good advice from a wise person. Yeah, we are in an amazing time for mentors as well. So, if you have any mentors, even if you just watch them on YouTube, or even if they're dead, right? I have mentors where the book they wrote, many years ago has helped me in my life. So, again, we don't have to have living mentors. We don't have to have physical mentors. We can have mentors that we consume their information. But, there could be a lot of good information for you. I actually really like this. Again, it's a challenging eclipse, but your reading looks pretty good. So, will there be challenges? Absolutely. But looks good. So, thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy the eclipse.